Hi. See, I can't be sincere without laughing.
It's painful.
Hi.
I'm Joy McClure.
Hi,
Try that again. Hi. Welcome to Fine Tooth Combs, the podcast where we watch the filmography of Jeffrey Combs and have a little chat. My name is Jamie. My voice sounds like this.
My name is Bunny. My voice sounds like this.
My name is Shandy. My voice sounds like this.
My name is Jake, and my voice sounds like this.
We have Jackie in the background. You may hear her giggling, although I doubt it because we're not funny.
Or eating taco chips.
Yeah, so the movie we watched today was The Man with Two Brains. But first, let's do the minutes from the previous podcast. So we watched I'll Watch Frightmare. We were all here, all six of us. A couple of people are missing. Frightmare, we all agree, was terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. The best thing about the movie was Jeffrey Combs.
Yes, yeah, Jeffrey Combs was good in it. Yeah, but wasn't a very good movie. It was dark. We got some decent Jeffrey Combs' first death, I guess.
Yeah.
And we got like a new thing we like to make fun of, Dumbwaiter the movie.
Yes.
Dumbwaiter.
So we'll have to build on the idea of Dumbwaiter the movie because that really was the star of that film. But thankfully they'll get probably better after this. And in fact, I would guarantee that they're better after
They
this.
already got better
movie,
after
not
this.
to give too much away, but better.
Oh yeah, it's a
It
Steve
wouldn't
Martin
be
movie,
hard
Carl
not to.
Reiner. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, anything else? Okay, pronunciation. Okay, here's the thing. Somehow in my brain, when I first heard this man's name, I either heard someone say it or I got it in my head that his name was Coombs.
Me too.
Yeah,
Same
and
here.
He never corrects anyone. Like I've heard people others say that, but his name is Combs. So I was listening to the first podcast and I switched from Coombs and Combs over and over again.
We didn't want to say anything because we
Sometimes
wanted you
like
to feel bad.
Sometimes it's like Combs. I'm trying to think of it. So
It's
that-
like searching
yeah.
for the right pronoun for your friend that's trans.
Yes. Exactly. What do I do? That's exactly like that. So I have a new rule. The only way I the only way I learn things.
With an iron fist.
The only way I learn things is usually through physical pain. So if I mispronounce his name, I get a punch in the arm. I mispronounced it 3 times last podcast. Bunny gets one in. Jake's get one in, and Bunny gets another one. There's 3. So from this point on,
It's not domestic abuse if you ask for it.
I won't do that again. Yeah. Already, I hate the fact that I mispronounced it. Any other business you guys want to bring from the previous podcast? Anything else we think about? Nope.
Nope, let's do this.
I don't
Okay.
know about that movie anymore.
So-
Not that day.
Yes.
I've deleted that whole 2 hours from my mind.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah. Was it 2 hours? It sure felt like
What
it.
movie was it again?
Yes, exactly.
Where
Jake's-
was I?
Dumbwaiter the movie.
He's doing a bit.
Dumbwaiter, that's what it was.
So now we come into the comb over, or the combs over. Yeah, see?
The Combs over.
Yeah. So this is a kind of a hard movie to summarize because it's a broad comedy. Like, first of all, let's just talk about the movie generally. It's Steve Martin, who's great.
Yep.
I love Steve Martin as a kid. Comedy is Not Pretty, and there was a few other albums that my friend had we would listen to, watch him on SNL, watch The Jerk a million times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's another movie he did with Carl Reiner. I think he did 4. The Jerk, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, The Man with Two Brains, and All of Me. Did you guys ever see All of Me?
I've never seen
Can't
it.
say that I have.
Possibly.
No.
It rings a bell, but it's not.
It was with Lily Tomlin.
Yeah.
This is on Super Channel a lot, and basically what would happen is she was an old woman who was dying, so she was using bad juju. She was going to get it transferred into like a willing recipient that wanted her soul, basically, so she could keep living to this young girl. But what happens is that her soul ends up in Steve Martin's brain at the same time, so he has to listen to Lily Tomlin in his brain as they go through this wacky adventure. It's weird. It's probably the weakest of these. They kind of get weaker as they go along because it's The Jerk, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, The Man with Two Brains, and it's really good, and then All of Me, which is It was on cable a lot, so I watched it. So this one basically so it's Steve Martin, Carl Reiner as a director and writer, obviously. Worked with Mel Brooks a lot, I believe. Someone will correct me if he didn't. And he's a brain surgeon named Dr. Huffar. Which no one pronounces correctly, but he's pronounced just as you spell it. Hfuhruhurr. Huffar. Yeah.
Oh, and what's I'm blanking on her name.
What's that?
Who,
Kathleen Turner?
Kathleen Turner is in this.
Yes, she is. Yeah,
That's important.
That is important.
Why?
So he's why?
Because
She brings up a valid point. Why?
What?
Yeah, she just confronts you with that. I will not stand with that statement. Kathleen Turner important? How dare you?
Moving on.
It's important because she's basically like she's his foil, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's a brain surgeon. Yeah. He's patented this crazy lock and turn technology. Kathleen Turner is
childproof.
It's a childproof. Is a Black Widow sort of type character who like kills husbands, loves to see them stressed out, and takes all their money and moves on or what have you.
So women, am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that is the basis of this.
Steve Martin's wife died, and he's looking for someone. In sort of this accident thing, he ends up operating on her, and then Kathleen Turner enters his life. So you get married, and it starts being hell on earth. It's a good premise, but it's not really much about talking about this premise when it comes to these kind of comedy movies. It's like talking about the plot of Young Frankenstein, like.
Yeah, it's just a setup for slapstick.
Yeah, slapstick, but slapstick and just weirdness, but played really, really straight.
Yeah.
Like no one winks to the camera or anything like that. Everything is played completely straight in this movie the whole time, which I think makes it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of screwy situations, unnecessary nudity, all sorts of stuff like that. But basically, do we want to go over this thing? Do we want to sort of?
You know what? I don't even think we should because it's not really the best storyline. Like it does kind of meander around a bit. Like it's almost like they took two storylines and put them together. And like the whole two brains thing is really almost sort of more metaphorical description of the movie because he doesn't really have two brains. Like I'm getting ahead of myself, I realize, but that's this kind of movie. Like it's on one hand you have the fact that he's now married this Black Widow, but on the other hand. The Black Widow, he's unhappy with her. That's important, I think, to mention. But then he meets another lady.
He does have two brains, though. It's a brain, like screw the plot, whatever. Let's just talk about this movie. Okay. Forget everything in order. So he does have two brains. It's a woman, a brain in a jar. Yeah.
Yes.
So he's got two brains in that regard. This movie's sort of goofy. This other Dr. David Warner from Tron, and he was actually in a Mystery Science Theater movie, Quest of the Delta Knights. Mm-hmm. A bunch of other shit, but that's all I can think of right now. He has other thing where you can put living brains in a chemical and they're still alive. But Steve Martin has a telepathic link with this brain. No one else could hear him. Oh, I actually, guys, quizzed you. Do you know who the voice of the brain was? Could you think of it?
Who was it?
Sissy Spacek.
Oh,
okay.
From Carrie and
Yep.
Yeah. So that was her, but she's uncredited. They don't put her in the credits or anything like that. So a lot of goofy stuff goes on. Some pretty amazing costumes that Kathleen Turner is wearing throughout it.
I want all of them.
What
was
that
gold bodysuit?
Yeah, that gold and black bodysuit thing. Kathleen Turner.
She's usually in lingerie.
Yes.
Mostly.
But 80s lingerie. So kind of like it's technically modest. It's sheer. You can see her nipples and everything, but it's modest lingerie.
Yeah.
She's constantly trying to
She's
get a rise, bump out of Steve Martin, but then won't give him the goods.
Yeah, she gets off on like the vein in their forehead or the fact that almost giving him sex and then pulling it
seems to be the MO. She was doing that to the guy at the very beginning.
Yes.
That's how it all started. We were introduced to her doing that to someone else.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So.
Exactly. She looks stunning in all her outfits. She's great. Like you said, it's weird watching movies like this because not everybody whitened and capped their teeth.
Yeah.
So like these people's teeth are perfectly fine, normal people's teeth, but you just notice it because you're worth to completely white and bleached out teeth or
their teeth look filthy to me when I'm watching this. I actually found it kind of distracting. I was like, Jesus, like what is she like? Has she just been like breathing in like multiple cigarettes daily? Like is she smoking packs a day?
It is Kathleen Turner.
She probably has been because this film was in the 80s, but it's a little shocking.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner
find it distracting.
with her smoky voice. She was in Friends, wasn't she? Didn't she play someone's dad who got an M to F sex change, and that's why he's sort of like playing on the fact that she has a really like dusty and like a gravelly voice.
Dusky?
Yeah, I think if she was in Friends, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Anyways, who else is in this? No one really.
No. Oh well, except for our man.
Combs
Oh,
in it.
we didn't even talk about Armen Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
it's about 10 minutes.
And what a scene!
Wow. He more than makes up for it. He carries us through the rest of the film. Just every time the
he
movie.
doesn't need to care. This is a great movie. Yeah.
It is, but I really think that it would not have been the same movie had we not seen that scene.
Okay. I like how you're bringing it back to our main topic.
I'm just trying to keep it on topic
it's
here.
It's a bit of a stress. I can't speak anymore.
Well, it's a Freudian slip because she was constantly trying to stress out
That's true.
her husbands.
Thank you for the save.
You're welcome.
So we're 10 minutes into the film, and Kathleen Turner's character has been hit by Steve Martin's car. He's the brain surgeon, so they're going to do surgery. Just hit the laptop for no reason. And then, they're prepping him for surgery, and there's Jeffrey Combs, said it right, bam. There he is, sitting there, shaving the patient. And,
Which part of the patient?
the pubic region.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you need to shave?
But it's a brain surgery, he said.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it looks like a heart. Well, yeah, it's Valentine's
It's
Day.
pretty good. Jeffrey plays it pretty screwy, but not screwy enough. It was funny. We laughed. Yeah. He's looking young. He's 26. The same year as Frightmare. Yeah. Weirdly handsome.
A creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mouth acting the fuck out of it. Yeah. And then there's a
He
cool.
didn't want to give up shaving. Like, he was just hanging onto that razor and staring at that
There's a
mom's
cool
pubic.
little button right at the end of the scene when he's walking out and Jeffrey just sort of catches a glance at her crotch. It's just it's really subtle and it's nice. Yeah.
It's the crotch of the gland.
Yeah, it's like a really good port. You know, you drink it, it's like
That was nice. That was
Yeah,
nice. Take
subtle.
another look.
Yeah, a lot of hints.
And then that was all there was.
That
all
was
there
it.
was.
That's all there
Jeffrey.
was of Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's all we saw of him.
Yeah.
But-
We can basically stop this podcast here.
No, I think we have to go a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's. But again, it's weird. Not like Frightmare where we go over the plot of it because it doesn't really make sense with this one.
Yeah.
The broad comedy. Did you guys generally like these kind of movies like Young Frankenstein? And I guess you can put. It definitely is not as goofy as Mel Brooks' like Spaceballs or Blazing
Yeah.
Like, it
Saddles
reminded me of, like,
or-
Airplane. Like, they were making... I can't remember the line in the movie, but, you know, that kind of punny sort of joke where it's like, surely you must be joking. I'm not, and
Oh,
don't
yeah.
call me
It's
Shirley.
dad
Yeah.
jokes. It's dad humor.
Yeah, or...
The
Dad
whole
joke.
movie.
Well, I mean, I grew up on those movies,
Leslie
right?
Nielsen. Oh, yeah.
The Leslie Nielsen sort of thing. So,
Yeah, the
so
Naked Gun or the Police Squad TV series.
This was like a satisfying kind of movie. Like, it was, you know, like a home-cooked meal in movie form. You know?
Yeah, a lot of quick little laughs all the time, but
Yeah.
not.
And I think a lot of the humor, some of the good stuff about it is that you can see it coming. You made mention of that during the movie. It's like, oh, I know it's coming from a mile away, but I love it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
And
it.
that's the thing. It's like it almost lets us be like, oh, I got that one.
Yeah.
But you know it's coming. Like, some of them are so good, though. They're so blatant
Oh, that joke.
that they're funny.
Or that,
When it's walking over the threshold.
Oh yeah, that is
one.
hilarious. When he's sitting there, he's
I
carrying
could
his
do
wife
this
with-
forever.
I want this moment to last forever.
Right.
And then it's pans to the maids going by. And he's
The next
standing
morning,
there.
yeah.
Well, they waited long enough that they managed to take pictures and get them developed to show him at the.
And they're trying to get him to eat
yeah.
breakfast. Like,
yeah,
come on.
little jokes like that are ridiculous, but played completely straight.
or there's that one delightfully racist.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Oh,
So obviously they want to
God.
paint Kathleen Turner. He's discovered that she's a harpy,
A horrible
and
person.
just wants his money, and so she's leaving, and they want to make Kathleen Turner seem like the worst, like she's showing her true self.
yeah.
So they say one of the most horrendous combinations of racial slurs, which we will not repeat. Everyone, I'm looking at everyone
Yeah.
except me. We will not repeat. It's crazy. Yeah.
Suffice it, well,
Watch the movie.
listener, it is N-word, K-word,
No,
W-word.
N-word, W-word, K-word.
Those three.
You
Yeah.
can combine those any way you want.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but just do it somewhere else.
Do it somewhere else. Don't do it here.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It just sort of stood out at us. There is some brief nudity, but it's mostly a pretty family movie. Do you think it is?
Following the extreme racism. No, absolutely. And especially, like, you've got to consider the time, right?
We used to show Blazing Saddles. Like I watched that.
I've
when I
seen
was-
that on
and that-
CBC.
Yeah,
that's what
network
that's
television.
what I'm saying, like, it's
Uncensored?
80s,
Uncensored,
right?
wow.
I was gonna say now it's like I wasn't allowed to watch any of these movies when I was a kid.
You are an exception, though.
Jake, not either. Yeah.
You both
Yeah.
are exceptions.
You guys
Not a lot.
had rather interesting upbringings in terms of
Yeah.
content. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas we pretty much had unfettered access. Well,
Yes.
like, within reason. Like, I wasn't allowed to, like, watch Single White Female. I was not allowed to watch that.
My parents had no
You know?
problem with like these kind of comedies, and they introduced me to Airplane and horror movies. We always watched at Christmas.
And these sorts of comedies too, like a lot of what they say would have gone right over a kid's head,
Oh,
right?
totally.
They're made to be like
That's
that.
a flash of breast.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was great. Like changed my life.
And this is pre-Jackson
What
Super
about the
Bowl,
finger in
right?
the mouth?
So
Oh, that's right. It was a different. Oh,
it was a different time.
Yeah, exactly. You can just think about this movie and over, and there's little one-offs and little jokes that really just sort of they make you chuckle. You'll be thinking about this for a couple days. A little bit of chuckle. So I guess this is a horror comedy. Is that what you would call this?
No.
Comedy.
No, like, and I actually kind of thought even the ending was a little kind of like, and wrap it up. So there wasn't even really the horror aspect of it, you know, like it was just comedy.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess a lot of romance tropes.
It was sort of like you're saying, like the plot was there to just serve as kind of a platform for the jokes, right? So the fact that it was, brain body switching, it was all there for.
I just thought about it's a genre movie the same way Gentlemen Don't Wear Plaid is like one of those black and white detective movies that uses clips from old movies with Humphrey Bogart and totally changes their characters, but it's a spoof of those kind of films. This one's is a spoof of romance and those sci-fi things when they were using electrodes to bring brains back and shit like that.
Well,
so
same like
it's a spoof. Yeah.
If you could recommend a similar kind of movie, right? I would think Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Right. That's like very much along the same way.
A spoof of a genre film, I guess.
Like.
Something high concept.
Maybe
like
I guess body horror. If we're gonna put in the horror.
Well, they even referenced.
There is no blood though. There's no.
I can't remember the name of the movie now, but the old black and white they were watching.
Oh yes, that's actually what the fuck is that? It's I can't remember the movie they're talking about, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Obviously something brain is. They even mentioned it in the movie. I forget. But.
Yeah. Donovan's Brain. Donovan's Brain, 1953.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, I had to look it up. I'm not that smart. I had to look it up on the internet. So you guys like Steve Martin films in general? The Jerk?
Yeah.
The Jerk is hilarious.
Yes. Even we watched Ellie's
The cans.
Story. Yeah. The cans.
They're mad at the cans. Don't hurt the cans.
And we watched LA Story recently.
Yeah, I'd never seen that. That was great.
Still pretty good.
Planes, Trains.
Richard E. Grant was in.
John Candy.
Yeah. Planes, Trains is probably it's a Thanksgiving movie. Eh? That's a great holiday.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yeah.
I did watch.
Have you seen that? Yeah.
Oh, you were allowed to watch that?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a great. There's not much swearing.
It's not
in it,
as crude as the other ones.
No, it definitely isn't. It's good. I love it when they're going the wrong way down the highway. We're supposed to be talking about every other movie, but
this one. Also,
it's fine though. Yeah.
Who
There's
was
a
the
loose
guy
conversation.
who ended up being the elevator killer?
Merv Griffin. Yeah, the TV presenter and producer. He was the elevator killer who was.
I just
rejected.
love to kill.
That was like my favorite.
I love to kill, but then I got so famous and I couldn't do it anymore, so I moved to Europe and
Nobody knows me.
turned it on.
But that's the funny thing, because every time it kind of showed the point of view scene of he's gonna kill. Oh hey, and everyone knew him anyway.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, she was American. So
I didn't expect to see you here. Oh.
Who says that though? If you see a celebrity, I didn't expect to see you. Of course you didn't. Were you following me?
Well, should we at least mention how the movie ends?
Everybody walks away happily ever after.
Man's how you would think
I
like this.
think he
So he's
learned
got a
his lesson.
horrible wife and a woman that he loves who's in brain form. The classic story. So the woman who's horrible gets in an accident where she's dead. Merv Griffin kills her.
Yeah.
It's
It's not an accident at all.
It's not an accident.
Yeah. I just love to
And
kill.
then he can do a brain transference using what's his face's
The machine.
a machine.
Yeah, the doctor.
Yeah.
It needs quarters.
David Warner. Yeah.
Did you know this needs quarters?
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's like
forgot
a
all
little
about
bit
that.
like the whole thing looks really weird. Lots of neon. He bounces around on it
Like a pinball machine.
Yeah. A lot of visual gags. Stuff that like the best way to kill comedy is to dissect it. So what you gonna sit here and dissect every joke? Yeah, you can't go over every beat of this film. It wouldn't be fun.
No,
it wouldn't.
You just gotta watch it. And
Just
it's
watch the
worth
goddamn
watching.
movie. Yeah. So that's how it ends. And scene. Oh, also.
That's not how it ends.
No, it's
she
not how it
gets. He gets injured for 6 weeks. She didn't tell him that she's a compulsive eater after he does the brain switch, and then she gets fat.
She gained about 20
Fat joke.
pounds.
Yeah, fat joke.
But he doesn't care.
He's like, what?
No.
Because he learned his lesson.
So we had some audio issues. We might have lost something there. So keep going. Yeah.
Like he takes out the brain. The brain's in a jar, right? So he takes the brain on a boat and like puts wax lips on it and a
Right.
hat.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Are you kissing your brain in the jar out on the lake today?
Yeah.
So blunt in the question.
Yeah.
So he actually takes his time to get to know this brain before marrying it, right? So
Another point I want to bring up is at the beginning of the movie, they put a lot of emphasis on his dead wife.
Oh, Rebecca.
The
And then
signs
she just kinda
on the wall.
disappeared.
Yeah.
And then after the whole no scene,
Oh,
it's like,
yeah, give me any sign.
just any sign. I'll keep looking.
Yeah.
That's it. It kind of doesn't really reference her. The doll doesn't
Oh.
come out again.
She does though, and the last time we see the wife is when he meets the brain, because he puts the doll out in that laboratory and is singing with her, and then the other lady's the brain's voice. shows up, and then that's
Starts singing
That's
back.
right.
That's the last time
That's
we
the
ever
last
see the
time we see
doll,
the doll.
or it references his wife. So maybe
right.
that's like a.
But it kind of ended. They didn't really wrap it up in the sense that it's like, oh, this one my dead wife's spirit approves of, or anything like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's cool with this
You're
one.
looking
Yeah.
for bringing it up to the painting and
Right.
it went crazy.
I'm
again.
just gonna put you in the basement.
That'd be an awkward scene. Okay. So I guess that's pretty much it.
It's
Anything
weird,
else?
like, I really like this movie,
Oh, yeah.
but there just wasn't a lot of Jeffrey Combs, so in terms of, like,
You said
I did, but that's not my rule.
She gets a pinch.
Fuck.
No, that's not my rule. I get to punch you, and I learned it from listening to you.
That's true.
I would have never noticed Jeffrey Combs if you hadn't pointed him out when we first met. Like, when we first met 11 years ago, we were watching Star Trek way too much, and that's when you first pointed him out as Wayun.
Yeah, Wayne from.
And you were like, I love this man, and I was like, I don't get it. I get it now, but you know,
It's taken 11 years.
It's taken 11 years, and I just don't really because this movie didn't have a lot of him in it. Once we saw him, I was sort of like, okay, I'm done.
Okay, in the context of this podcast, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says early Jeffrey, so we're not getting him as the main guy.
I'm excited
It's
now.
coming, though.
I'm really excited to just.
It's a foreplay.
Well, from this point forward, he's generally a main
He's
character.
playing hard to get. Mm-hmm. He's like, you want to see more of my mouth? I do.
Okay, so let's see if I can find any trivia on here. No, nothing
What about
really.
questions?
Any questions? Yeah, mostly the questions are creepy, saying, hey, other people noticing that it's Jeffrey Combs in there, other people wanting to know the names of the ladies who are naked in it. Oh, we forgot to talk about the prostitute with the crazy voice.
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
So she gets naked. So of course, most of the message board when I'm looking at questions is about what's that girl's name? Can I see her boobies elsewhere? So this is the internet. So
yes.
What do you expect? There's nothing else that I could find that was much in the way of people asking any decent questions. Classic
internet.
Mm-hmm. What can you do? Let me see here. See if I can find anything. Oh, the two poems. There was two hilarious poems.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So the pointy birds.
Pointy.
Allow me to read this. The pointy birds. Oh, pointy birds. Oh, pointy, pointy. Anoint my head. Anointy. And there's another one called.
It was their poem, right? The
Exactly.
other one?
Another one called In Dillman's Grove.
That was their poem.
In Dillman's Grove my love did die, and now in ground shall ever lie. None could ever replace her visage until your face brought thoughts of kissage. Brilliant.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. It's good stuff. In terms of trivia, not much. It's like, hey, that was Merv Griffin. It's like, yeah, we know it's Merv Griffin. They said it was Merv Griffin.
And he
Did
did
you
not
know there
turn
was Merv
himself in.
Griffin there? The guy that they said it was Merv Griffin. Did you know that was Merv Griffin?
Not until they said it was Merv Griffin.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he calls her a scum queen at one point when he
Yes.
throws her after the unbelievable racial slur. And apparently people would call Kathleen Turner scum queen for years after.
Nice.
Sort of
Really?
entered the vernacular of calling somebody a scum queen from this movie. It was very popular. Apparently in LA Story, Steve Martin quotes some of those poems in this movie, this movie,
Okay.
Dr. Hafar. And what was her other name? That City SpaceX? It was Anna. No, Hannah something or other.
It was Anna.
Melmahay.
Melmahay, there you go.
Melmahay and Dr. Hafar. Good stuff. Okay. Would you guys... So we can go to ratings and recommendations of this. So we'll rate it out of hearts, but because Jeffrey Combs was in this for a limited time, it'll be hearts shaved out of pubic hair. So how many out of 5? How many
pube hearts?
How many pube hearts would you give this film, Bunny?
3.
3 out of 5 pube hearts. Would you recommend this movie?
Yes, I'd recommend it. Not as a Combs movie, but as a Steve Martin film. But as a Combs movie, I'd say skip it.
Interesting.
It's not gonna.
Or watch
It's not
the first
gonna.
15 minutes.
Well, yeah, because it's not gonna fill that void. You're gonna be like looking for Combs, and you're like, oh, well, it's done now. So okay, let's move on.
Yeah, fair enough. Shandy, what do you get this? Pubic hearts. Let's go.
3. Also.
3 pubic hearts. And would you recommend it?
If you like Steve Martin.
Drake.
I'm also going to give it 3 pubic hearts with 1 Christmas ornament hanging on.
Oh, I forgot about that. I did that for Christmas.
So I will cut it 3.5. I thought it was really funny. It wasn't quite as over the top as say some Leslie Nielsen. It was right along with The Jerk, like the same kind of humor. Like you said, it's really funny in the sense that it's delivered straight, but it's crazy. I loved it, and I love that kind of humor for the most part. If it doesn't go too far, sometimes it's overly ridiculous and it kind of pulls me out. This didn't do that.
Like Dracula did and Loving It. That was a terrible movie. Was it Nielsen movie?
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
Mel Brooks, wasn't it?
I think he
Yeah.
did do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of his weaker ones.
Yes.
Yeah, like Love
Absolutely.
Stinks, I think is another one Mel Brooks did. Not so good. My recommendation, I'd go closer to a 4. I've seen this movie a lot. I love Steve Martin. Yeah, it's a Jeffrey Combs movie. We don't see him much. He's pretty funny in it though.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, and
going with the creepiest scene in the whole movie.
He's a total creep. Yeah.
And what is that? It's a vagina. No, what is that?
Oh, it's a heart.
Yeah.
And just the way he stands there, like he doesn't change his really position. He just stands there with the razor hold, like just up in the air, just like totally incredulous. Like, well, yeah.
Everything's super deadpan. That's why it works.
Here's the thing, though. Little tidbit about vagina shaving. Apparently,
Here we go.
back in the day, I'm sure they wouldn't do this anymore because times they have changed.
Thank
But like
God.
when women went to have babies or various surgeries that were pelvic involved, like often they got their pubic hair shaved, including like having babies. They'd shave your vagina because nothing is gonna feel better postpartum than fucking 5 o'clock shadow on your snatch. But what they would do for some women is actually kind of shave their hair into like a heart.
What?
Like the nurses would do it because like they're being nice, right? So they would like, like if you were getting like a C-section or again any sort of pelvic surgery, they would like
Because they only need to be a certain, like...
right. They only need to get rid of so much hair, and again we're talking about the 80s here, full bush. You're right. So they would shave just enough hair, and they would kind of shave it into a little heart shape.
As early as the
scalloped-
80s? Recently in the 80s this was still happening? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems...
Well, even like the humor in
creepy.
this is there's a lot of stuff in this movie that would not fly nowadays. Like
Yeah.
I'll forgive it, like I forgive a grandmother, because it's like you are from 1980, whatever.
Yeah.
You're like
Grandmother,
Yeah.
1980.
Yeah.
Well, like I
whatever.
said, I could bring it back to Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
A brilliant comedy. Holy shit, do they drop N-bombs in that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is crazy.
like
and the Chinese jokes, and it's like... I don't know, it's... I don't think... it's brilliant and it's great comedy. It's just weird. That sort of stuff wouldn't get made right now, or it get made a certain way. It'd be made a lot more goofy. A lot of that stuff is played pretty like sort of nonchalant. So it sort of naturally our modern sensibilities. Can't think I'm saying modern sensibilities. I'm talking about something from the 70s and the 80s, but it has changed a lot. It's just sort
20,
of
30 years.
20 years.
yeah, exactly. So guys, recommendations for I guess sort of screwball stuff like this. I thought this was sort of a horror comedy, I guess a horror sci-fi premise. But I'll go first. I would recommend Dead Alive, Peter Jackson, also known as Brain Dead.
Oh God.
That's the one that's funny by excess. The amount of gore in that movie is unbelievable. We all know Peter Jackson. If anyone's watched the director's cuts of any of the Lord of the Rings movie, we know that he loves excess, and that movie is insane. Unbelievable blood and gore, and it's just great. You see early Peter
Is
Jackson.
that the one he did like when he was it that like the student film?
No, it's a very. It might
Or
be a
it's
student
later
film.
than
That might be. So I think it's his third. I think his first was Bad Taste, which is that alien one, which is great about Derek. Yeah, I can't run. I'm a Derek.
Derek's don't
That's
run.
the one with puppets and stuff, right?
No, that's Meet the Feebles, which I think is his
booger.
second one. I'm sitting in front of the internet, but fuck it, I don't care. I don't care to look it up. So but those are his early films. Dead Alive, Meet the Feebles, and Bad Taste. Have you seen any of those, Jake?
I have not.
No. You've seen the Lord of the Rings movies? Did you see King Kong?
Yeah.
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 You've
I
seen-
know
That's
Peter
not pretty.
Jackson.
And you've
for-
seen The Frighteners, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like that. I love that movie.
What's that? Beautiful Creatures is an awesome theater.
I never saw Beautiful Creatures. What's that
I
about?
think that's what it's called. It's a
Ugly
true
people.
story about a New Zealand girl who murdered her mother.
It's two of them.
I
There's
could say
two
dumb.
Yeah.
schoolgirls that are in love, and they brutally murder her mother in a garden with a sock full of rocks because she doesn't want them to be together.
That's a Peter Jackson movie?
Yes, and
Yes.
it's a true story.
Yeah.
Or
Really?
based on a true story.
Wow, you
because
haven't
it's
seen that?
very-
Okay, we are watching that.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Like,
That was one of my favorite movies when I was like 18, 19.
yeah.
Oh, so it's that old.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's brutal.
Interesting. So that was my recommendation. Bunny, you want to recommend any movies? See anything recently? Steve Martin?
Well, I always try to think of ones that are similar, and so I just want to refresh myself here. A Basket Case.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So, because that was sort of similar, is it not? Like,
yes.
That's about brains in a basket.
No, it's his brother. God, I can't remember his brother's name, but his brother is sort of a
right, deformed Siamese twin brother. They were conjoined at birth.
Yeah.
They were surgically separated at an early age against their will, and the brother deeply resents being cut off from his normal-looking brother.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm reading this verbatim off of Wikipedia.
Yeah, he basically controls his brother. That was a good movie. It had some amazing sequels with unbelievable effects. Like ridiculous intentionally. They're so great, so funny. Like he's so strong that he squeezes a guy's neck with his eyes, like his whole head squeezes and pops out. Like fantastic scenes.
One of the first images that'll pop up when you Google that.
Yeah, we saw. Remember, I think it's called Brain Damage.
Brain Damage. Yeah, it goes by another name. Brain Damage.
No, that's not Basket Case.
No.
Brain Damage is that other one where guys get that little parasite that will inject a little pleasure chemical into his brain when he kills people.
Yeah, I was actually smashing those two movies together in my head.
Yeah. Well, funny you should do that because there's actually a reference and a cameo for Basket Case in Brain Damage.
Yeah.
They're sitting there on the subway and the guy from Basket Case
and he's
is sitting there with his
the basket
looking at the guy who's got this little parasite. Yeah, so I'm not sure if they're the same director, same group of friends, but a little nod, so that's probably why you're getting them confused.
Yeah.
And we watch a lot of terrible movies.
Those are good. It's very muddy in there.
That is a good terrible movie though. That's one of those good ones. So Shandy, do you have any recommendations?
This is totally unrelated, but I'm going to recommend a movie we were just talking about, which is not Beautiful Creatures. It's called Heavenly Creatures.
Yes.
Made in 1994.
That's grade 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't let the listeners know anything about you.
They might be able to find you with that information.
They're listening.
Anyway, I'm just going to recommend that because it came out, and I never really watched a lot of movies like this one. So.
Do you know who directed it?
Peter Jackson.
Oh. We just talked about
that. She gave the wrong name.
Dude, did I just have a stroke? I totally
No, because I called it the wrong thing.
That's very
true.
Oh my god.
Heavenly Creatures.
I don't know what happened there. Jake.
I'm just going to go with The Jerk because I love that movie, and when it comes to Steve Martin, that or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Kate Winslet is in Heavenly Creatures.
Really?
Yeah.
And the other main characters in tons of stuff is, that girl.
Oh, yeah. She's the one that, could suck the alcohol out of a deodorant stick, right?
Not in this movie.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Sounds like my relatives. I will get to you.
Yeah, you just recognize her. She was on 2.5 Men. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Oh, no, okay, it's not who I thought it was.
Oh, never mind.
Never mind.
So, The Jerk. That's what we were talking about.
The Jerk.
Yeah, that's a great movie. As a dog named Shithead. That always made Bowfingers. He wrote that. That's a hilarious movie where they have to make a movie with Eddie Murphy without him knowing they're making a movie.
Yeah.
Gotcha, suckers. Is that called Chubby Rain? Isn't that what the movie's called?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've
Chubby
seen
Rain.
that one. Chubby Rain.
Yeah, that's a great movie. So, I guess that's all the recommendations.
Oh, Steve Martin was born in Waco.
Waco, Texas?
Yeah.
Or Waco, British Columbia?
Waco, Texas, USA.
I don't think there's a Waco, British Columbia.
Wonder if his parents fed him Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid?
You're
You're
mixing up your death cult, sir.
My death cult?
Yeah. David Koresh and what have you just sort of attacked. The Kool-Aid one was Jonestown, right?
Yes.
Why are we talking about Jonestown and the Waco?
This is what happens.
Steve Martin was born in Waco.
Oh, we were just there. Again, I think I shirked out.
I think you did. Do you smell burnt toast?
I don't know what's happening, you guys. It's probably best that I go to the hospital.
Right.
So, you guys want to talk about anything else?
We're good.
No.
Podcast?
Who was the main actor that we were doing this podcast about?
Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs. Oh,
You trying to get me to say it?
I want to hit you so bad.
You are truly the worst person I've ever met.
and that is why.
Thanks.
Okay, so the next movie will be... Holy shit.
I was going to say the name.
Oh, we busted something loose.
You said I was the worst person ever, so I was going to say the name that Kathleen Turner calls.
Oh my god. So you're thinking it and now you're laughing? I hate you.
Okay, the next movie. What's the next movie we were watching?
The Reanimator.
Oh,
Full Tilt Jeffrey, right?
Full to Jeffrey.
Balls to the wall,
This
forehead
is
to the
his-
ceiling.
Ooh. Funny's crying.
I know we busted something loose. When she starts crying, she can't stop. I don't know what's going on. Okay, here, bring it together.
We're good.
Okay. We're gonna start doing these sober. Nah, that's not gonna happen.
Oh.
Okay, so if you want to contact us, it's finetoothpodcast@gmail.com. That leaves it to say, my name's Jamie. My voice sounds like this.
My name's Bunny. My voice sounds like this.
My name's Shandy. My voice sounds like this.
And Jake, my voice sounds like this.
Goodbye.
Bye. On a side note, the girl from the other main actor from Heavenly Creatures is in The Frighteners.
Oh, the curly-haired girl. Harold?
No, she's something. I think she might just be someone that dies.
Oh.
Just a quick.
You're talking about the one that I was thinking was something
Yeah.
else. I thought she was the one from Will and Grace. That's married to the guy from Parks and Rec.
Oh.
Blake wants to know if you want any of this stuff.
What the hell's her name? Yeah, Nick
Those are
Offerman.
called- Shadow
Nick
boxes.
Offerman. When I
No.
first saw her picture, she looks really similar to that actress. That's who I thought it was.
I thought you'd love the little
totally
bathroom
spacing on her name right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you like those?
Because I have enough crap. I don't need
They're
more.
like 3D pictures.
Are we living in 1984?
I'm still recording. Good night.